Hey everyone, welcome to our Team Infinity Coach meeting. My name is Manon, and tonight we're talking about how to add value. This has been a topic that was high demand. I know many of you wanted to chat about how do we add value? What do we do? What does that even mean? So that's what we're going to get into tonight. I added this nice picture of us from this past weekend in Ottawa with Joel. So it was super exciting and fun to see you. I know some of you were at your first like live Beachbody event, like Tracy. I thought she had been before, but no. So very excited to that you had the opportunity to be in person. And next time it's going to be in January. So make sure you check it out, decide where you're going to go. In our area, there's Quebec that's going to be pretty awesome as well. There's Ottawa and Burlington. So pick one and get to one, even though you may not be local. Make sure you go to the FAQs and research it so that you can join one of your local ones. I love this quote. Decision is the ultimate power. It's very true. When we decide we want something, when we go for it, when we have a deadline, things happen. Definitely important to set a deadline when you make a decision that this is something that you're going towards, whatever that goal may be. You have to believe. This is something I repeat every week. Believe in what you have to offer. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. And we are an elite team. We build diamonds. I know we have a few coaches pushing for Emerald, brand new coaches pushing for Emerald tonight. So I'm looking forward to waking up tomorrow and seeing who achieved it. The Emerald is two people on your team. You're starting to grow your passive income, and it unlocks the passive income potential. We are building diamonds so that it can be done in a week. It can be done in 5 weeks. You decide your timeline. Some do it in a week. We're going for 5 weeks. So set a deadline. I am a diamond coach by, I know many of you are pushing for November 24th because that's the last week in 2022 for it to count as a lifetime rank. So adding value, what does that even mean? So we're going to focus on social media, how to add value on social media, and really how to use social media and not let social media use you. So social media is all about the experience. It's not about us. It's about helping our followers, the people watching us, have an experience. It's about creating connections, building a relationship, and bringing your followers along the journey. And remember, it's never about us, it's about them. Okay. So what not to focus on when we're trying to add value on social media? We're not focused on gaining followers. We're not focused on going viral. We're not focused on the likes. Likes and number of followers do not determine your success. Somebody can have 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, and not have a successful business. And some people can have 400 and have a very successful business. So remember, it's not about you, it's about them. So what to focus on? So we have to focus on serving the people who are at the table. So imagine if you had 30 people come to your house. Would you say, open the door and say to everyone outside, come in, join the party? Or would you focus on the 30 people already there at your table and serve them? So same thing with social media. Serve the people who are there instead of trying to find all these new people. Yes, that can be a goal, but focus on serving the people who decided to follow and be a friend of yours. Serve them. Create an experience for them. Add value. We want to create connections, and engagement is also a way to add value. And this, we're focusing on them, not us. Focus on them, and then the growth will happen. So how to start? First thing to ask yourselves is, who do I help and which problem do I solve for people? If you don't know who you help, you can't serve, you can't add value because your message is going to be confused. If you're confused, people around you are confused, they don't know how you can help them. So it's very important to sit down and decide, who do you help? And which problems do I solve for people? As a new coach or as someone who's just starting, your question, or who do you serve, can be the person you were before you started the body programs, Beachbody On Demand programs, workouts, and nutrition. So who you were before, which problems did you have that you needed to be solved? And you're going to talk to that one person. So things to shift on social media, instead of saying, hey guys, hi everyone, hey everybody, I want to talk to that one person. How are you today? Are you feeling motivated today? Are you feeling tired today? So talk to that one person. If you're a veteran coach and you've been doing this for a little while, you want to attract the person maybe you were a year ago, not necessarily the person you were when you first started. If we're trying to build your business, if you're looking for business builders. So when your marketing is about recruiting coaches, you want to talk to the person who has already started to maybe read personal development, already has that itch to start a business or wants to something more. So who were you maybe a year ago, and which problem has this solved for you? And talk to that one person. We talk to everyone, we talk to no one. Talk to one person. And if you need help with that, when you're talking to your camera, pretend you're talking to your best friend. On social media, in order to attract the people to us that have a specific problem that they'd like to be solved, we have to decide to add variety to our content. So it can't just be one thing. It can't just be fitness. It can't just be your business. It has to be, you are a well-rounded person. You want to talk about 4 things that complement each other and that you like. That can be pastimes, hobbies that you have. It can be your job. It can be things you like to do on weekends. It can be going to the rodeo. It can be having little kids around like Shallon's doing right now and being super busy, like a busy mom. All these things are a pillar. So 4 things that you have in your life that really would be easy to talk to your best friend about. So for me, my 4 pillars are mindset, the business mentorship, the community, and family, but active family. And my outdoor pictures, my outdoor adventures do really well. So it's to find what works for you and what you like to talk about. So you really want to have 4 pillars that you alternate. And when you look at your feed, if it's always about your family, it's time to switch it up. If it's always about fitness, it's time to switch it up. So you want to have 4 things that you have in rotation. So that's how you're going to add value. But what else is value? What exactly is value? Well, we're on social media, so engagement is adding value. When you engage with the people, your followers, when you engage with your friends on Facebook, that is adding value. You're either commenting, you're asking questions, you're being social. Social media was created to be social. So let's put the social back in social media. Have conversations, get to know people. And that's one of my favorite parts. I don't have a problem talking to people. I will comment, I will wish people happy birthday that I don't know. Be outgoing, meet people, that's adding value. But don't take an hour to do that. So set a timer, 20 minutes a day, max. That's enough for engagement. And then another thing to add value, share simple tips that may be common knowledge for you. Like today, Lynn, putting your like treats in the oven, that is maybe something that you do normally that you haven't thought about, or you're like, maybe it's everyone knows to do that, but not everyone knows that if they out of sight, out of mind. That was a great tip to share. So that's adding value. That's something the people around you need to know. You think it's common knowledge. It's not common knowledge. People need to know how you do things because you're having success. So you want to share these things over and over and over. Think about the simplest things. Like I use like a metal ball for my shaker because it mixes things better than I find like the chalk. So all these little things are added value that we think, who would want to know that? Actually, those are the best things to share. People will gravitate towards that and they love that. Have conversations with other social media users. People are on social media, they want to get to know you. They want to have conversations. They want to, it's not ever with the intention to sell. It is initially to add value, get to know them, connect with them. But again, set a timer, 20 minutes per day. You want to also respond to comments and posts. You want to engage. You want to like comments. You want to like some posts. You want to comment on posts. You want to ask questions. Like content from people in your industry, not necessarily company. Don't waste your time connecting with people who sell the same thing as you, but some people who are in the same industry, maybe you guys can get to know each other and eventually they want to maybe coach like you, right? But I would not take time to engage with somebody who's already doing beach body workouts. I would focus my energy on prospects. And the current Beachbody customers are not your prospects. The current Beachbody coaches are not your prospects. You really want to focus on new people. Share posts that are relevant to your audience. I often, when I'm scrolling, I take some time every day to scroll. If I like a reel, I will share it to my stories. That's adding value. I didn't create it, but it's still adding value, and it takes 2 seconds to share. If you join Facebook groups, you can engage in the Facebook groups that are relevant to your niche. I'm thinking rodeo because Lynn, we talked about this. Like if you go into a rodeo Facebook group, you start engaging with the people posting, not to sell, but just to really get to know them. Eventually, they're going to check out your feed because you've been posting, you've been sharing, and maybe they'll send you a friend request, or maybe you'll send them a friend request, but it takes time. And you always want to be creating that, growing your network by connecting with people who you'd like to hang out with, who would be a good fit, because we're going to go to like Punta Cana or Mexico, or we're going to the summit. You want to really focus on who is your tribe and attract that type of person to you. It has to make sense. We're not there to serve everyone. We're there to serve the people that we can connect with. Share something you've learned while reading or listening to personal development books. Not everyone, most people do not read or listen to personal development books. So all these books you're listening to when you're walking or when you're washing the dishes, all these things that you're learning, write them down or go live and share that. What you're learning, other people can benefit from. So that's adding value. Share a story, one of your stories that include a struggle that you've had and you've overcome. So what, like Shalyn, I know you, it's dieting, like you ruined your intestines, all these things, like those were struggles yet that you've had, you've shared, but you want to sound like a broken record. When you think you've said it too often, you haven't said it enough. Repeat it. People need to know your story. If you listen to Melanie Mitchell, her staple stories, and the ones I connected with were, I was an introvert. When I come home from work, I would pull up in my garage, close the garage door before coming out of my car because I didn't want to talk to anyone. These are things I connected with. She said my husband never supported me, was my biggest like critique. That's like her staple story that you'll hear pretty much every week, every 2 weeks. You want to repeat yourself over and over and over in order to attract the person who has they have the same problems you used to have. You can also make people laugh. Shalyn's good at amazing at that with her reels. Make people laugh. If it's niche down to your market, people are gonna laugh. You're gonna provide value by making them smile. That's great too. You can make people reflect, ask them questions, share quotes, things like that. You can also make people feel heard. Do you ever feel like this too? Have you ever felt like that too? Do you get tired of asking them questions in your first sentence? Will make them want to read more. And that's adding value. Adding value does not mean always teaching something. You can, but it can also be, how can I connect with that person? Meeting prospects where they are right now, providing value to continue engaging with them and slowly guiding them towards a specific path. So when you have your marketing calendar, we talked about this, like 2 weeks of boot camp talk, you're promoting boot camps, 2 weeks of promoting to the coaching opportunity. You want to guide them in like a journey. You want to make them have emotions and learn from you. And then when they're ready and when you have something to offer, they've built that trust, they get to know you, and they're like, okay, I want this too, right? So you want to build a path to eventually have them say, yes, tell me more, or I'm ready to join you. So that's the purpose of social media when you have a business. You want to be social, but you want to guide them towards something. A post or a reel about your day-to-day life might not provide like teaching value or actionable info, but it shows your audience that even though you're a busy mom, you can manage to fit in your workouts or your business in your day. And then you're showing them that if you can, they can too. So that's also providing value. Showing them what you do is not necessarily about you, it's showing them that they can do it too. So not switching it so it's not about us, but showing them that we do it so they can too. That's providing value. A funny reel that makes people smile, niche focus, because we don't want to be just crazy and there's no point to having all this engagement if it doesn't relate to your niche. That reel makes your audience smile and happy about having you in their life. So that's adding value as well. So focus on adding value as a strategy and not to promote yourself, but really a strategy to guide them down the journey in order to build the trust, in order to get them to get to know you better, and eventually get them to convert. But it's a process, it's a journey, and it's following a specific path along the journey. So technical stuff. This is where it gets a little bit more technical. You have to understand each platform's algorithm, and honestly, that comes with practice. Practice. You'll find out, you'll figure out what works on Instagram and what works better on Facebook. For myself, Facebook, family pictures, my kids, either a celebration or a happy birthday, that works well on Facebook because most people I have on Facebook, they're real friends in real life, family members, and they don't necessarily want to buy. Some of them do, but it's more like a family focused platform. Instagram, totally different. What works well on Instagram does not usually work well on Facebook. And I know this because I've done it often enough that I kind of know what's going to perform well on Instagram or what's going to do well on Facebook. But it comes with practice and it comes with putting yourself out there and putting variety in what you offer. So what is an algorithm? So this is my like math part. It is really a set of rules that dictate how a process will be executed. It's really a step by step. If you do this, this happens. If you do that, this happens. If you do that, this happens. So in terms of social media, the algorithm refers to the process the platform uses to determine what content is going to be seen by what user. So what's really cool about social media is it's a machine. And once you figure out how it works, you can use it to your advantage. But it's also random. So you can't get discouraged if you get like 14 views on one thing and then 20,000 views on the other thing. Just keep focusing on serving the people who are there. And eventually you're going to attract people that you're meant to work with. The number of impressions of your content received on each social media platform is going to depend on the algorithm of the platform itself. So really understanding what Facebook likes and what Instagram likes. Instagram likes reels. Instagram likes reels who get people to stay on the platform for a very long time. So if you have a reel and you have a text on there that grabs the people's attention and they watch it for at least 2 seconds, the chances are they're going to stay on that reel for a bit longer. That tells Instagram, okay, that reel is doing well. People want to see it. Let's push it out so more people can see it. But if your reel doesn't do well in the first 5-10 minutes and it doesn't get any views or people just scroll past it, Instagram knows that's not something people want to see. So we're not going to show it to more people. So it's really about practicing, figuring out what your audience likes to do and likes to watch, and doing it over and over and over in different ways to find out what works for you. For example, my reels who do the best are when I'm walking outside. Outside stuff works super well for me. And the last one I did, there was like 20,000 views. I debated on what do I put as the first clip, and I went back to see which ones do best. And it's always when I'm walking outside with filming myself. So I put that first like second or two in the video and it went well again. So it's figuring out what your audience likes. And the only way to figure it out is to look at your insights and to do it often. So once you figure out like all these things, you want to frame your content in a way that's applicable to your niche. There's no point of going viral with something that doesn't apply to your market, to who you serve. So you really want to be clear on who you serve, who do you help. You want to frame your content in a way that applies and serves your niche. So that way, if you do get followers from that reel, for example, on Instagram, they're going to stay. But when you have a reel go viral, you're going to gain followers and you're going to lose followers. That's totally normal. It really happens that way. That last one gave me about 20 new followers and then they kind of drop, or I get new and it fluctuates, and that's okay. Sometimes it's just people trying to sell me stuff. So right after I do these things, like, oh, are you looking for coaching? And then I get these cold messages. But that's all part of the game, let's say, of social media. But understanding it will help you grow. Take a look at your metrics. Do you guys know how to check your insights? Okay, Lynn, no. Are you posting on Instagram? Okay, I'm going to show you quickly if you want to. Let me see. Stop share. I'll share this one. All right, there we go. So you open Instagram. Oh, I was just looking at it before I came on this call. Okay, so here you'll see professional dashboard. That's just on your main page. Like once I hit my picture at the bottom, this pops up. You click on this here. And you'll see these are reels I did that did really well. Okay. The rest of the time it's probably under 1,000 people. And then these two got a lot of views. So in here, you can click on see all at the top and you can see what performed well. So account reach, so 42,000, but that again is because I had reels go out. You can see what your top cities are, where are your people from, top countries. So this is good because we can only serve US, Canada, UK, and France. India, well, it's probably robots and things like that. So that doesn't really matter, but that's exactly the target. We do serve France, but my content is all in English. So chances are they're not going to follow me, but that's okay. And then the age range, it usually is more 35 to 44 and 45 to 54. This is usually bigger, but I think this month, because of the 2 reels, it brought in younger people. That's something to always be looking at to find out what content your audience likes. And then gender, which is good because I serve women. Men, you'll get men, that's okay. But the majority of the people who interact with my stuff are women. So that's awesome. So you want to use these stats to plan your content. And then here you have your top posts. So like, I know that the one where I'm celebrating, I'm in Arizona, did well. My daughter's birthday did well. So these are posts. These are not reels. These are just like static posts. And then the reels you'll see here, it tells you how many views you had. And then you can go into like more detail. So I'm not going to, but have fun and play with this because you'll see pretty cool stuff. So you'll get to know if you're serving your audience correctly, if you are actually hitting your target market. So yes, take a look at your metrics, understand who your followers are and what they're interacting with. So knowing what they like is important so that you can create more. What content is performing well on specific platforms, IG versus Facebook. Keep in mind who your audience is platform to platform, because your audience will change as you grow, especially on Instagram. You can be very niche focus. And that's very important to know when you're starting to check out hashtags, when you're starting to go to accounts where you want to engage with their followers and get more followers or more friends from that. So you must also understand that the purpose of the platform as a whole. Instagram is more visual. Facebook is more like you can share links, you can share things. So it's different. And knowing that, you can also decide on which pictures will do best on which platform. So your infographics might perform strongly in one space, but then you put the same picture on Facebook or vice versa, and it doesn't do well. So I know a lot of you like to do collages. Collages don't work well on Instagram unless there may be like 2 or 3, but it has to be super clear. And Instagram does not normally love collages. Facebook a little bit more. You don't want to use anything that has watermarks. So if you have a watermark and you don't want to pay for the paid version of the program you're using, you want to zoom in so it removes the watermark. Instagram is really focused on very clear pictures. If your pictures or your reels are not high quality in terms of like pixel, it's not going to push it out as much as a clear one. On Facebook, it doesn't really matter. It's not as visual of a platform. So use this info to further your developing, like to develop your content, but not really to stop you. I don't want this to overwhelm you, but I want to give you the information that you may need once you're there. So this could be way too far for you, and that's okay, but at least you know that you're going to start to explore. And the most important part is to try things, try and try and try again, and you're going to learn. And the platforms change all the time, so I'm always learning. I like to follow Brock Johnson. I like to follow Instagram creators. So if you have anyone that you're following, you can comment in the chat or say it out loud. There's so many good ones out there. Brock is one. There's this guy named Jeffrey something. Let me see. Shalyn, do you have some people that you love to watch?
I mostly watch Brock Johnson, to be honest.
Yeah, he's really good.
He seems to keep the most up to date on the information.
Yeah, totally. He's a great one to follow for sure. Network marketing wise, I love Jessie Lee. She's always on. She's into network marketing. So if you're looking for tips and tools from her, she's great. Not necessarily for content production, but to help you with your network marketing business. She's awesome. Brock for sure for Instagram. And try stuff. Try and try again. Try different types of posts. That means like images, change your images up. You can take text that you've used in the past and put it with a different picture or a different reel and see how it performs. So we are there to be explorers. You're there to problem solve. So you have to try things and see what works for you. You can use carousels. That's when you're maybe teaching something and people swipe. You can go live. You can do reels. You can on Facebook, not Instagram, it won't work, but you can share links of like recipes you've liked or things that you've liked. Share links on Facebook and see what happens. Change things up so your audience does not get bored, and just to see also what they like, because it's about them, not us. I think I already did this. In mind. Yeah. Replicate. Okay, so focus on adding value as a strategy. We're adding value. We're not there to talk about us. If we do talk about us, it has to be in a story in order to show people what we've done to solve a problem. So our homework is to define who we help, if that's not clear yet. Choose your 4 pillars and make one post with the intention of serving your audience. How can you serve people? The more we serve, the more we will provide value, the more we're going to grow our business, because we're going to create that trust, and people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Always remember to put a call to action to help your post do well. So either Your call to action can simply be drop an emoji below if you agree, and tell them which emoji to drop below. Do this, share if you agree, share if somebody could benefit from this, tag a friend if you agree, things like that. You want to give them something to do when they are reading your post, because if you just post and you're like, I'm doing my workout, okay, great for you, but why does it apply to me? The viewers are very selfish, and we have to go into their heads to provide value, but also to get them to engage with us. All right. Question? Was that useful? Elena,
Yeah,
you
because
over-
sometimes we always think like we have to provide value by teaching something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a lesson, which is good to know, because sometimes I'm trying to like, okay, what is the lesson I'm going to teach today? And then I get too wrapped up in trying to teach a lesson that I don't post anything, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And your reels, like, they make people laugh, but have a call to action. And your call to action can also be, check out my stories for motivation, check out my stories for what I'm doing next, or inviting people to check out your stories. So it gives them a way to like go click on your button and see what you're about, and make sure when you're doing that, you have something in your stories. Lynn, ça va?
Ouais, je vais essayer à soir d'aller jouer sur Instagram.
It's a platform that you're just gonna have to explore, try things, and it's not about perfection. It's really just try things, and you're gonna improve, and don't be shy to have fun with it, because it is a fun platform. And you don't have to do the latest trend. Just be you. And one thing, if I can suggest, is I think you guys are good with that, but using less filters. Yeah, you can have a filter to make your skin, maybe if you want to, a bit
I
shinier.
don't use filter.
But the people want to see the real you. Like, they want to see the wrinkles. They want to see who you are. So definitely be you. That's a great platform. And a great shift in social media is people want to see the real you, which is great. People need more realness on platforms, on social media. All right, ladies, keep crushing it. Tonight is Wednesday, so go check your back office, make sure everyone's active. You have enough PV so you don't go inactive and you don't lose your volume. All right. And check your downline as well. So if you have a few messages to send, do it now so that they have time to check in. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, man.